Hello, and welcome back to another video. I decided I wasn't going to unplug it because I didn't want to spend the time. Today we are reading His Reasons. It's a Todoroki X-rated fanfic by AshleyH713. We're doing chapter 16 with part 16, which I find cool. I should probably write that down. Wherever the hell my pencil went. Fuck. Come on, I just had it in my hand. I know it's not in my hand anymore, I've checked. I am not that tired yet. Seriously? What the hell did that was the only pencil I had. How the fuck did I lose a pencil in the span of 2 minutes? Less than 2 minutes. Jesus. Okay. Screw the pencil. I literally just wrote a number down. Maybe I have a second pencil. Damn it. That pencil's gonna have to work. Might be dull, but it'll have to do. It's part 16. We are reading Season 2, Chapter 16. This will be posted March 27th at 1 p.m. 2020. Okay. Okay, we got that written down now. Not losing that pencil. We're gonna put it there. So, Jesus. Okay. Yeah, let's begin. Season 2, Chapter 16. Swirling the pills around in her hand, Amari swallowed the 3 before feeling that familiar burn in her chest. She had just finished getting over her fever, which meant she was back to training and proving herself like before. That break had already wasted enough time. She raced through the course quickly before falling to her knees, her breath becoming more and more shallow than before. This was new. Why was she so exhausted already? Clutching her chest in pain, Amari twisted her brow in confusion before fumbling for her pills. Why did it feel like the effects were already running out? It was literally only a couple minutes since she started with her quirk. Her shaky hand grabbed onto 2 more pills before shoving them into her mouth without a second thought, the burning sensation now dissipating slowly. Catching her breath, Amari thought about what this meant. Just last week it only took 3 pills to fully activate her quirk, but now it took 5? The amount of intake was going up, faster than what she expected. That wasn't good. She turned her eyes to ones of concern before flopping down onto the training floor and placing a tired arm over her face. Her body was rejecting them even faster than before. Did that mean she didn't have much time left after all? Usually, Amari would pay no mind to that idea, fully knowing that the medicine wasn't a permanent solution. But yet, somehow, she felt scared about it. The last couple months had been so wonderful for her, filled with such love and joy from both her brother and Shoto. A while back, Amari would have just accepted this progression, but now she didn't want to leave. Groaning to herself, she realized that this was the exact reason she didn't want to get too close to Todoroki or Katsuki. Now she was just being selfish. She wanted more than what was given. How terrible of her to want such things when she was already given so much. She then picked herself up from the floor before grabbing her bag and sighing. If time was really running out, then she couldn't just pout and whine about things that were inevitable. She just needed to complete her goals. To put it simply, Shinso hadn't slept since finding out about Amari. And to put matters worse, he couldn't even ask her about it because she was busy completing her class internships. There were many things that swirled around in his head the past couple weeks, but the emotion that stood out the most was doubt. Maybe he was just his mind tricking him, but Shinso didn't want to believe that Amari's outburst was true. Even if he did see her struggling in the hallway at the sports festival, there might have been a more simple explanation to it. She could have very well been faking the whole thing. At least that's what he wanted to believe. Moving towards the school, he paused when a couple Class B students started whispering about him as they passed. It was a normal occurrence. Hey, did you hear about his quirk? It's brainwashing. How scary. Shinso just sighed heavily, not really affected by the words. They were something that he had heard his entire life. After all, his quirk was better suited for a villain. That's what everyone thought. His friend seemed to join into the conversation as well, noticing the 2 lock eyes. Oh shoot, I think he heard you. Be careful there. You don't want him to use his quirk on you. They both shivered, and Shinso sighed again, turning away when a female voice stopped him in his tracks. Her back was turned to him, almost like she didn't notice he was there. It was Amari. You really talk big for someone that kicked your ass in the sports festival. Are you sure you're not just jealous? The boy seemed confused by her statement, challenging her. Oh, please. Why would I be jealous? But Amari just crossed her arms over her chest, thinking for a moment. Oh, I don't know. Maybe if you had his quirk, you wouldn't have placed dead last in the first round. If you want to talk all cocky, make sure you have the skills to back it up. Blinking in surprise, Shinso watched the girl defend him in confusion. Wasn't she pissed at him still? Why would she even stand up for him like that? It was strange. The boy also seemed amused, suddenly remembering her face. Hold on, aren't you the girl that he was picking on during the sports festival? Why are you defending someone with a villain quirk like him? Amari paused for a moment before smirking. Shinso is a lot of things, but he's definitely not a villain. Shinso's eyes widened at her words to the strangers. This was the first time someone had ever stood up for him like that, and it was the first time someone didn't think of him as a villain. Huffing in response, the boys knew they couldn't win this battle and turned away, not before shouting back in hopes to embarrass her. Whatever you say, confession girl. Although they didn't get a response they wanted. All they got was an eye roll and sarcasm. Oh wow, like I haven't heard that one before. If you're going to insult me, be more creative, will you? Shinso seemed confused about the nickname, though. Why did it seem like she had heard the name a lot? It didn't have anything to do with the sports festival, right? The boy then realized they weren't going to get anywhere with her, and scoffed before turning away, earning a heavy sigh from the girl herself. Turning back around towards the school, though, Amari finally noticed Shinso's presence behind her and froze for a moment. They locked eyes silently, as 1,000 unsaid words passed between them. His being the only one said out loud. Why did you do that? She registered his words for a moment before frowning, and walking past him without giving a response. That proved it. She was still upset with him. Shinso blinked in surprise and found his feet following her, suddenly wanting to know what the whole display was about. He needed answers for that, and for the sports festival. Hey, hold on. Where are you going? Amari's eyes cast down to the floor then, answering back plainly. Class. Leave me alone, Shinso. I'm still pissed. Trying to lose him, she picked up her pace, only for him to match it, stepping in front of her and questioned. Are we just not going to talk about what happened at the sports festival? She knew exactly what he meant. Her outburst, although Amari didn't really want to get into this with him. Nope. Turning the corner, he put a hand out to her quickly. You can't just do that. At least tell me if what you said back then was truth. It can't be, right? This causes her to stop abruptly, finally meeting his eyes as the air grew heavier. If it's easier for you to think that way, then sure. Shinso's chest dropped with anxiety at her words. Why wasn't she denying it? No. What she said couldn't be true. It couldn't. What? Although, he didn't have time to think as Amari picked up her pace again, moving back towards the school. He really couldn't let her go. He needed answers. Amari saw Katsuki in the distance and smiled when Shinso blocked her pathway, speaking extremely loud so that Bakugo and some of the other students could hear. Bakugo, this isn't a joke. What you said before was really serious. What do you mean that your quirk is going to? Widening her eyes at his volume, Amari roughly cut him off with her own hand, covering his mouth aggressively. He really wasn't going to blow everything she had worked for in one single moment. Shh! Shinso's eyes then traveled to Bakugo's confused ones as she let go. Does Bakugo know? Shaking her head furiously, Amari replied, No, now shut up already. I already said I don't want to talk about it. Knowing she wasn't going to budge, Shinso knew exactly what to do. In one motion, his voice raised again, threatening her silently. What do you mean Bakugo doesn't know how your quirk will? Widening her eyes once more, Amari clamped her hand back over his mouth before he could finish that sentence. He was playing dirty. She then realized she couldn't win and sighing, whispering back harshly, Fine, meet me in the courtyard during lunch. Just shut up about it already, okay? Once she realized he wasn't going to yell out again, Amari let go of her hand before grumbling to herself and leaving. This was going to be a train wreck. Shinso just stood still for a moment, though, finally happy he was going to get some answers. Lunch came sooner than expected. When Shinso stepped into the courtyard, he was surprised to find Amari missing. Maybe she really did blow him off after all. Although he paused when he turned the corner and found the girl sitting on a bench a couple feet away, staring into space. She seemed really solemn about something, and he wasn't quite sure what it was. As he approached, Amari felt his presence behind her and sighed. I was kind of hoping you weren't going to show up. Her tone was not lost on the boy, now feeling the heavy atmosphere around them. Why was she acting so depressed all of a sudden? He was about to find out. Shoving his hands in his pocket, Shinzo replied, "You already know that's not possible. Now spill. Why did you stand up for me today? I thought you hated me." He was starting off easy, which made Amari slightly glad. "I don't hate you. I guess I just hate when people underestimate me somehow. You may be a jerk, but you have a pretty amazing quirk." That needed to be said. That they needed to see that.